Hello, my lovelies. I'm Jenny O, the author with no last name, and today I want to talk about artificial intelligence, or these chat GPT programs, and what are they actually? So, a lot of people in the creative industry especially have come out against these artificial intelligence language learning models put out by people like Google and Musk. So writers, artists, um, people in the computer gaming industry, uh, and there are like people who should be talking about this more, including actors, directors, music people, like songwriters and people who write actual music, the music for this lyrics type of thing. Lawyers need to be talking about this more, both from the legal copyright standpoint and also for the idea that you don't use it in a courtroom. And doctors, nurses, and pharmacists are also seeing AI show up in their field as well, and journalists especially. So that's like 9 or more different fields that need to be talking about these language learning models, and teachers have come out against it too. Did I say that? I think I said that. But teachers have also come out against it because students are using these language learning models to try to write papers. Try being the key word there. So I feel that there is a great deal of false expectations and, I don't know, lack of awareness of what these chat GPT and other similar language learning models or art learning models really are. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, okay, not only has the Archive of Our Own, which if you don't know what that is, it's one of the largest fandom writing, aka fan fiction writing archives on the internet. It's up there with fanfiction.net, but fanfiction.net and fictionpress.net are older. But AO3 was created because of what was going on with fanfiction.net and LiveJournal around 2007 or so. And it has been proven that the bots, the little programs that go around and copy text and images from the internet to be put into these data sets, have actually gone through the public open stories of AO3. And that was kind of the beauty of AO3, is that people are posting these up for the public. You don't have to have an account to read them. And now a lot of authors are going, I'm going to be putting my stuff behind a registration wall, a subscription wall. You're going to have to subscribe to AO3 to be able to read my works, because I don't want my stuff to be copied by the artificial intelligence bots. And then you also have people who are impatient, entitled, I don't know. They are taking parts of these stories that have been posted to AO3 and they just haven't been finished. And these readers are taking them without telling the author, without getting permission from the author, and running them through, the ChatGPT or something similar to it, and trying to get endings for the stories, whether these are, I don't know, I believe there's an 800-word limit, but whether these are like little drabbles or little one-shots, I don't know, but they have been basically feeding these stories into ChatGPT to try to get endings, and sometimes actually posting them to AO3 itself as like some sort of alternative ending. And of course, authors on AO3 are very angry about this for good reason. A, kind of goes against etiquette, and B, why in hell are you using an artificial intelligence to do this? And AO3 itself is like, we can't 100% do anything about it. You have to report it to us, and then maybe we will be able to take it down, but we're not sure, about the legality of it. Anyways, but it has really kind of, to me, when I'm in these spaces and I'm watching all this go down, like, people don't understand what these quote-unquote language learning models really are. And I understand, because it took me a couple months and like 4 or 5 different videos and watching people talk about it. I know I watched videos from Adam Conover. He had people on talking about it. I watched a video from How to Cook That with Anne Reardon, which was very informational, and because she used actual examples. She has this dog that she owns that is very rare, so she used these things to prove that, this has been fed a lot of copyrighted information, type of thing. And then Some More News has also done a couple episodes, I believe, on artificial intelligence, and they've also done stuff with the WGA strike and stuff like that. So it took, a little bit of listening to these people to wrap my head around it in order to really understand what was going on. And I think a lot of our misconceptions about the ChatGPT, these language learning models, comes from the fact we feel they should be like artificial intelligence in science fiction. Since the 50s and 60s, and when Asimov was writing his first stuff about robots, this is The Caves of Steel, and it's our Daniel Olivaw. It's one of his earlier works. It's a mystery novel, which is very rare for him. And it has an artificially intelligent, like, robot detective in it. And he thinks like a human being. He can, put information together and, use deduction or intuition or, to come to a conclusion. He's not he has complex thought processes. So when we think of artificial intelligence, we think of robots like Daniel Olivaw from Caves of Steel, or something from like iRobot, or some of his other works, or we think of just they're just like us, but they're machines. So, something like Vision from Marvel Cinematic Universe, maybe we think about that, without, having to have the Mind Stone. But we think they just have a complex computerized brain, like we have a complex biological brain. But that's not how these language learning models actually work. Okay? So, for the tech dude bros, yes, I know it's a statistical language learning module, okay? I know that. But we are going to go down to brass tacks and talk about how they actually work, okay? Already been called out about this once, and it's kind of like, no, let's talk about how they actually work, so everybody can be on the same page and we can all understand. And maybe if we all understand that, we won't be quite as, I don't know, going head to head over it. So right now we are not at, okay, Daniel Olivaw, artificial intelligent robot who can think and looks and, talks and acts just like us. We're not even at data levels, okay? We're not at Star Trek levels of artificial intelligence. So, yes, by the way, I still have these because this is actually one of my favorite theories from Asimov, but that's, kind of beside the point. So, the ChatGPT language learning modules are basically pattern regurgitators. They are mimics. Okay? So, they have taken from all over the internet, and this means they've taken, scripts, they've taken parts of books that are on public pages, they have taken from Wattpad and AO3. At least Paramount paid for the privilege to scrub Wattpad, but I don't know if Wattpad actually has been scrubbed like AO3 had been kind of scrubbed for like that. But I wouldn't be surprised. They have gone through the internet and gotten thousands upon thousands and billions of words to create a data set for their algorithm to work through, to look at patterns. And the problem is language is ever evolving, so one pattern might be true 20 years ago, might not be the same now. But it basically is looking for the most recognizable patterns. So when you ask it a question or you give it a prompt, what it's doing is it's going through its database, its collection of words, and finding the words that are kind of key related words to it, and choosing words that most likely go together, one word at a time. Okay? So, and it's just using the data it has in its data set. Unlike an artificial intelligence, it can't connect to the computers, the greater internet as a whole or whatever, and do a search for things in real time. Okay? So it's not adding any type of new information. It can only work with what type of information it has available to it already. And it's just creating patterns of words. This word is most likely to come after this word in this quote-unquote style of writing, or this television show, or this, science type jargon, whatever. Which is why it can quote-unquote hallucinate. It can make things up. It's, quote-unquote lying, which it's not doing. It's just creating a pattern of words that sound good, and because it's not connected to the internet as a whole, it only works one word at a time. It doesn't know, it doesn't have a process in its head, an algorithm to go, no, this is wrong information. So it says it to you confidently that, this information is correct, when it could be something completely made up. FYI students, this is why you don't use it for papers, any type of scientific papers, because it's not reliable. It does not have sources, it cannot cite sources, whatever. It's just creating a recognizable pattern of words, okay? So, it cannot think ahead. It cannot, create a plot structure. It does not know that humans have 5 fingers and how the fingers work, and, what our skeletal structure is, and, fingernails, what fingernails are. It doesn't know that. It just sees in all the images it has, when you in the pattern of humanity, that we have these weird little appendages, and it doesn't know how many of them there are, because artists put hands in many different positions. So sometimes you see one finger and sometimes you see 5 fingers. And so they don't know if it's, is there 5 fingers? Is there 10 fingers? Is there 6 fingers? They don't know. They don't know how the phalanges work. They don't know why. It's kind of like watching a child try to draw hands the first time. Hands are crazy. So it just doesn't have that. It doesn't have a thought process. Okay, and it can't, in the thought process, stop and go, this doesn't seem right, and fix things. It's just going to patterns, one word at a time. It can't set up plots, it can't write jokes, it can't. And so, and it's doing this based on copyrighted materials. Yes, even the fan fiction on AO3 is copyrighted. The ideas are not copyrighted. You can't copyright an idea. They cannot make money off of that IP because they do not own the IP that they're writing in as fans. But the idea, the way they executed the ideas, the way they put the words together is copyrighted. That's why authors and screenwriters are very insistent that they do not read fan fiction of their own stuff, and that fans not send them fan fiction of their own stuff, because as soon as fans start sending them stuff, they can't use that idea and be able to tell the lawyer that I had this idea on my own, okay? So the language learning model cannot put new ideas, it cannot come up with new ideas on its own, on the fly type of thing. It just can't do it. It can't take stuff away, it can't put stuff in, it can't remix crap, it can't, it's because it's not thinking. It's just a pattern regurgitator, one word at a time, with statistical models of what word comes next. So the best example I've seen of this is a very limited example, because people are thinking like, oh, because of the internet, because it's put so much out there from the internet, everything that's gone into it, you can Lee Childs and J.K. Rowling and Stephen King and all that, they give it more creativity and intelligence than it actually has. So the best example I've seen to explain is we need to limit the data set, okay? So take your favorite television show, Bones, or Leverage, or something with a few seasons, Supernatural. Yeah, Supernatural. That had a lot of seasons. So take that show, and the scripts for that show are your data set for your language learning model, okay? And only those scripts, nothing else. You tell the language learning model, the pattern regurgitator, to write a new script based upon the script you've given it as its data set. So the language learning model, all it can do is pull patterns of dialogue from those scripts. And it might seem a little cut up, it might seem mashed together. It's just creating patterns that might somewhat sound like the dialogue from Bones or the dialogue from Leverage. But it cannot add anything new. It cannot create any kind of new scenario or new joke or anything that would, remixing something else. Like, it's not going to do a crossover from The Finder, which was a thing for like a season. It can't, or, from The Mentalist or Criminal Minds or whatever. It can't add anything new. It can only work with what information it has. And there are reasons why scriptwriters are going, we can't work with this. I can't even edit this to anything good. And I don't want to use this as a tool because there are just 100 and other ways that I could get myself out of being stuck than putting my script into a language learning model. The language that the one person who I saw talking about this in an interview was very violent, so I don't want to repeat it. But I know when I get stuck, I don't think about going to a language learning model, A, because the tool is so very new, and B, I know it's not going to be any good anyways, but, I'll get up and I'll take a shower. Or I'll go for a walk. Or, oh my god, I'll just, like, eat something and take a nap. Maybe my brain needs to be reset. Or maybe I need to let my brain relax and like read a book or watch a movie and put that problem on the back burner. Or I go find a handy friend and I just talk at them. It's the rubber duck thing. Maybe I should just get a rubber duck. I talk at them until I work the problem out verbally to myself, and and they stare and they smile and nod. That's good. And then when I'm all done, I go, thank you, and then go about my day. I don't think about going to a language learning model to to try to get out of writer's block. That's not how writer's block works. So you might get something that's kind of like your TV script dialogue, but it's just gonna be the same old, same old. It's not even gonna be like a fan fiction writer, going, take this script and rewrite the show from here. It's not even gonna be like that. Like I don't know. It's just not going to be able to add anything new to or interesting. I don't think to your show, to to what you're doing. So the big thing we all have to keep in mind, outside of the whole it's working on stuff it's stolen from everybody else, is that this is not actually intelligence. It's an algorithm. It's a statistical model. It's not making decisions. It's not thinking ahead in any type of way, shape, or form. It cannot, set up something in the beginning and then do a mirror echo at the end, style of writing, like a book. It doesn't actually have intelligence. All it's doing is it's choosing the next word that is the most statistically probable for the prompt you asked, okay? And sure, we've come a long way since those, kind of the original type of chatbots, or the bots where, you talk into them and they turn your voice and make it sound funny. We all really need to stop playing with this type of stuff. The fact that they're a statistical language learning model it's a lot different than what it used to be, but they aren't anywhere near the type of intelligence that most people think about when they think artificially intelligent. It's a misnomer. It's wrong. We should not be giving it more credit than it actually has, and it's just a terrible label. And we've had billionaires and corporations, they're pouring millions of dollars of money into this, and it's just, if not billions, and it's just we've had an entire category of scare fiction for decades about the perils of doing this and the human cost of what could happen in doing this, and yet somehow everybody is so greedy. We want to like run head first into this type of future, which, you know, creatives and people who consume creative work really don't want. I mean, dear God, I don't want to read a book written by artificial intelligence. Why? Just why? I, and you know, I enjoy the Murderbot Diaries. And you know what I really enjoy about the Murderbot Diaries is that, you know, there is a human behind it, that she's making that she's writing about a cyborg who has to deal with the fact that, oh my God, I have emotions and I don't like this. I just want to sit in a little cubicle and watch TV shows. Why am I having to solve a murder? Must I protect these humans who are just too fragile and just sometimes very stupid? And but that is the, you know, I like artificial intelligence where it kind of belongs, in the realm of fiction, and not the way they're trying to take it in the realm of reality, to take the jobs of creators. And, you know, from everybody from writers to songwriters to musicians to actors to artists to animators, you know, the only thing I've seen that this predictive language model might be good for is programming and speeding up programming, because, you know, you can put something into it and get, you know, code out of it that you can fix really, really fast, versus trying to get a novel or a script out of it, which you can't even edit to be anything coherent. So it would be a lot cheaper in the long run, and probably a lot more satisfying in the long run, if corporations and tech CEOs and stuff like that would just pay the people who are already doing this because we love it, because we enjoy being creative. But that's not where we are in this world. Anyway, it's a pattern regurgitator, it's a mimic, it's not intelligent. It's just doing one word at a time, or, you know, creating a pattern of the most logical patterns when it's creating a piece of art, or the next music note, or whatever it is they're trying to do with it. And it can't do induction, it can't do deduce, it can't think ahead, it can't outline, it can't write a joke, it can't, you know, set something up. It just can't do it. And because it's not at that stage yet. And I don't think we want to continue, you know, creatives don't want you to continue to pour money to get to that stage either. Especially when you are using, or when they are using copyrighted material that they've stolen from authors without permission to train it. Fun days, huh? So I hope this helped explain a little what ChatGPT is, and similar language learning models. If you are interested in learning more, I recommend Adam Conover. He is very focused on the language learning model, but he's a writer, so that makes sense. Anne Reardon did everything from Midjourney, and she also used ChatGPT, I believe, and talked about it. She's also done one where she tried to get an artificially intelligent machine to create a recipe for her. Legal Eagle has done a video about how lawyers tried to use ChatGPT in the courtroom, and what else? Oh, and now this news, or no, some more news has also done videos on ChatGPT and the like. So check them out. They're the ones I use to try to understand it, and you know, I hope that you can understand the ethical problems behind it. Don't mess with them. Please don't play with them, especially right now. Not when, you know, we have people on strike, entire unions on strike, and entire industries going, this is bad. Please just don't play with them. It's not worth it. Don't do corporations' jobs for them. But take care of yourselves, my lovelies. Stay safe, bless, and I'll see you in the next video.